When I started the subject, I told you people that this subject plays a very important role. I have seen many developers today who are making a career in becoming web application developers. They start their career with learning HTML, then they learn PHP, and then learn different frameworks of PHP and so on. This subject is not only for the academics, but I have already told you that if you just seriously study these subjects immediately after passing engineering, there are a lot of jobs as freelancers which you can actually do. I will give you one example. Now Maratha Mandal wants to upgrade its website, okay, and the existing website is not up to the mark and all that, so that's why they want to go to upgrade it, okay. So if anybody has really understood this entire subject, if anybody who has learned the technologies which are there in this subject like HTML, CSS, they can create this website. And the company who has quoted that they will develop Maratha Mandal's website, they have quoted something like 35,000 rupees. And if there is somebody who already knows these technologies, they can easily do it, no problem. So what I'm saying is there are different people who require their websites today. Their website needs to be developed. Many businesses, many shops, almost everybody has a website today, and everybody wants to develop a website. They want to make an existence on the web. So that's why there is a lot of potential for this subject. Many companies are there who are only into website development, and they are running good. From past many years they are running good. Okay, it's just that we need to keep upgrading ourselves. Now this subject does not cover all the latest technologies like different frameworks of PHP and all that, but it gives you definitely a fundamental start. Once you start with this, then automatically learning the new frameworks will be very easy. Okay, so that's why I always keep telling you people that this subject is not only for the academics, it will also help you for your career. So we had started with understanding what is the meaning of HTML. First, we understood what is web. I told you the relationship between client and server. I said the client will send a request, the server will send a response. The server contains two things on it. It contains either static resources or it contains dynamic resources, static pages, static documents, whatever you want to call them as. But they are static and dynamic. Static documents, static resources, static pages, and dynamic pages, dynamic resources. What are static pages, static documents? Anything with extension .html, .txt, .pdf. These are all static data, static resources, static documents. And anything with extension .php, .cgi, .jsp, .asp, these are all dynamic pages. I also told you that when a static page is requested by a client, the server simply picks it up from the hard disk and send it as it is to the client's machine. When a dynamic page is requested by the client, the server will pick it up, it will execute that and send the result of the execution to the client's machine. Okay, you know this already. Keep this in mind, very, very important. How does the client request for something? The client requests for something from the server by opening a browser in the client's machine. If I am a client, I open a browser in my machine, in my computer or my mobile phone, and then in the address bar of the browser, I type a URL, and when I press on the enter button, the request goes to the server. So how does a client request for something? By opening a browser and through the address bar, typing the URL and requesting. Okay, so all this we have seen. Then we saw that how to design web pages. To design web pages, we use a language called as HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, it is a language in which there are a lot of tags, predefined tags. Each tag does something useful. And then using these tags, we design our web pages. We make our web pages more good looking so that people should stay on the website for a longer time. We try to make the website more informative, try to make it less boring, and so on. By using these different types of tags, we can put images, we can put links to go from one page to another page, and so on. So we have seen different types of tags available in HTML. We have seen first the syntax of writing HTML. HTML, we always start by writing the HTML tag, and then we write the head tag, then we write the body tag. Inside the body tag, we write all the different types of tags and design our web page. Then we started learning the basic tags of HTML. We first learned the H1 tag, H2, H3 till H6. These are the heading tags. Then we learned if I want to go to the next line, if I want to display something in the next line, then we use the break line tag, BR tag. We use the BR tag. Then we learned the P tag. If you want to introduce a new paragraph into the web page, then we use the p tag. In the yesterday's class, we learned very important tag, that is the ahref tag. The ahref tag is used for inserting links in a web page. If I want to go from one page to another page, if I want a link to be put into my web page, I use the ahref tag. A is the name of the tag, and href, and after that, whatever you write here, it will navigate to that particular page. Then whatever comes in between the a and /a appears like a link, in the web page. So this text will be displayed in the page and it appears like a link. So when you take the mouse pointer on that, you can click it. And if you place an image tag here, between this, that image becomes the link. So whatever comes between the a tag, if you can see this, this is the a tag. In between this, whatever you put in between this, okay, becomes the link. Okay, if I put a image tag there to place an image, then the image actually becomes a link. So when we click on the image, actually it takes me to the page which is mentioned here in the href, and so on. So we have seen this yesterday. Now today what we are learning is, what is the meaning of relative referencing. We are going to learn what is relative referencing. I think I already have those pages. I have, this is, you can see on my desktop, I have a page called as test.html, and I have got a page called as second.html. I will just open this test.html. I'll right click on that, say open with. I will open this with Notepad. So you can see this is my code. So I have this center tag, h1 tag, my first page, and there is a smiley image. How to place an image also we have seen yesterday. We use the img tag. Img, it has an attribute called as src. src is equals to be, assign a value to it, the name of the file that you want to appear, in your web page. So this is how we place an image into a web page. So what I'm interested is in this ahref second.html, and then this appears in my, so when I double click this and when I open this with my browser, you can see this is what appears. Okay, so this heading comes, the image comes, some paragraph is there which comes, and then there is a link which comes here. What is the code for this? This is the code for that. You can see here in href what I have mentioned. I've mentioned the name of the file directly. Did I mention any path here? I did not mention any path. Directly I've written the name of the file, second.html. Why didn't I write the entire path to that file? Okay, here I have to write the entire path of the file. Remember, href takes the path of the file here, but I've mentioned only the name of the file. Why is that? The reason why I have written only the path, only the name of the file here is because these two files, test.html and second.html, are in the same level. It is in the same folder. You can see. It is in the same folder. That's why in my test.html, I have written href and directly written the name of this file, because they both, test.html and second.html, are in the same folder. They are in my desktop folder. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to take these files. Okay, first I will close this code. I'm going to take this test.html, second.html, and smiley, Control X. I will cut it from here. I will go to the D drive, and in the D drive, I will create a folder called as web. Okay, web, and then in this web folder, I will paste these three. Now you can see that I have removed them from my desktop, and where I have gone to the D drive. In the D drive, I have mentioned there's a folder called as web, and in that folder, I have mentioned, I have copied and pasted all the three files. Okay, now if I double click this test and open, it will open fine, no problem. And then when I click on the second dot link, it will also take me to the second page also. Why? Because in my web, you can see that in my web folder, both second.html and test.html are in the same folder. Now I am going to do a small change. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder here called as, let us say, okay, more, M-O-R-E, something like that. Okay, there is a folder called as more, M-O-R-E. Okay, and I'm going to keep this second.html page in that folder. I'm going to keep second.html page in that folder. So what did I do? I have in my D drive a folder called as web. In that folder, there is a file called as test.html, smiley.jpg, and in that there is a folder. In that folder, web, there is one more folder called as more. In that, I have kept second.html. Now remember, test.html and second.html are not in the same folder. Okay, so now what I will do is I will just refresh this. Now I try to click on this link. See what will happen if I click on this link. When I click on that link, it takes me to this page where it says your file was not found. What change I had done? I had shifted my second.html page into another folder called as more dot in more folder. I have shifted. Here it is not in the same folder, but now I did not do any change to my this. I will open this code with notepad test.html. Here I've written second.html thinking that it is in the same folder. If it is in the same folder, remember it will open. But if it is not in the same folder, if you click on this, it will not display that page because the page is not found. The page is not found. So it is important that in href here you have to mention the complete path of the file where it is present. So here I can now put it like this: d:/web/more/. Now I have written the complete path here. You can see I've written the complete path. In the D drive, I know there is a folder called as web. In that web folder, I know there is a folder called as more. In the more folder, I know there is second.html. Okay, now I will save this file. Save. I saved it. I minimize this. I come here. I refresh this. I refresh that. Now I click on this button. Now you can see that the file opens up. You can see that second file opens up because I've written the complete path. I've written the complete path of where the file is present. Second.html, where it is present, I have written that completely. In the D drive, web folder is there, more folder is there, inside that second.html is there. When you specify the complete path right from the folder, right from the drive, this is the drive, this is the D drive. If you mention the complete path of the file in the href attribute, D web, if you mention the complete path, this is called as absolute path. When you mention the complete path from the drive itself, D drive, E drive, G drive, whatever drive it is, from there till the file, if you mention in the href property the complete path, it is called as absolute path. It is called as absolute path. But I can even do this. What I have done is, I know that test.html is here. Now, if my file which I have to go to is in a folder called as more, and inside that there is your file, then you can mention from the current folder, go inside a folder called as more. Inside that, go to a file called as second.html. So here, remember, I have used dot represents current folder. From the current folder, inside that there is a folder called as more. Inside that you can find the file called as second.html. Okay, so you can also mention the file path like this: dot/more/second. I'll save this file, save, and let us see whether this will work or no. So I refresh this, and then when I click on this button, you can see it takes me to the second page easily, no problem. Okay, you know that if I don't put this, what will happen? It will give me an error because it is not in the same folder. So I put only that file is saved. And then when I come here, I refresh this, I click on this, it gives me an error saying that file is not found. But when I go back here, and then when I do this dot/more and second.html file save, I go to the browser, refresh, and when I click on this, it takes me to the second file. Okay, so I can even mention the page like this: dot from the current folder. Current folder means wherever this file is present, test.html, wherever the current file is present, test.html. Inside that there is a folder called as more, and then there is a file you can find called as second.html. So you can also mention the path of the file like this. And when you mention the file path like this by using the dot operator, not mentioning the drive, dot operator from the current folder, this is called as relative path. This is called as relative path. Relative to the current file. Related to the current file, in the current folder, there is a again folder called as more. Inside that there is a second.html. This is called as relative path. Now, please remember, you have learned two things now. If the two files are in the same folder, then you can simply mention only this much. You can simply mention only this much. If both the files which you are linking to go to from one place to another place, you can directly mention the name of the file. If they are in some other folders, you can either write the name of the drive. This is called as absolute path if you give it from the beginning, from the D drive. But if you don't want to give it from the beginning, you can also mention it like this: dot slash and then more second. From the current folder, go to another folder called as more. Inside that you have second.html. So this is called as relative path. When you mention everything from the drive, it is called as absolute path. Okay, so please remember this. Now please remember that there are two different types of giving links. One you can mention here as absolute path from the drive itself, from the D drive, H drive, wherever you have kept your file, or you can mention relative path by putting a dot symbol here, dot slash more slash second.html. Okay, tell me what will happen if I do this. If in my web folder there is a folder called as more, inside this there is one more folder called as SC. Okay, some folder SC. Inside that, if I put this, now in my web there is test.html is here, then you have more. Inside that SC, inside that there is second. So if I write my program like this, dot slash more second.html, what will happen? Let us see. File save. If I go here, if I refresh my page, if I click on this, it will take me to this, but this second.html file is not present in more, so that's why it is saving file not found. So what should I do here? I should more, after more I should write SC and then slash again, dot slash more slash SC, then second.html. File save, refresh, click on this. Now it will take you there. So you can see that it navigates to D web more SC and then second.html. Okay, I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear. I hope you understood what is the meaning of relative path and absolute path. Okay, what I will do is in more SC and all that. So now let me go back here and explain to you people. I have already explained to you people what is the meaning of relative path referencing. The same thing. Now these are the different possibilities that when you write an ahref link to external, if you have something like this, appearing in your web page, in your link ahref www, you can also mention here the complete you can directly go to, I don't know, www.google.com. okay, you can directly go to a web page, file save, and then I come back here, I refresh this. If I click on this, then this will, no, or it is giving me an error. What has happened is I have to write http file save. So if I come here, refresh this, so when I click on that, you can see that it directly takes me to Google's page. It directly takes me to Google's page. Why? Because what I've mentioned here in my href is the http www.google.com. So you can mention any type of a URL here. You can mention a URL here, a path here directly to an external web page, or you can give a path to your own web page. You can give a path to an image here. For example, let us say that if tell me what will happen if I say smiley.jpg. okay, my link href is smiley.jpg, file save. Okay, so I come here, I go back on this, I refresh this. When I click on this, see, it takes me to that page. Okay, smiley.jpg. So I can mention here a page it navigates to. I can mention an image, it will open that, and so on. Okay, so let us look at this. If you mention a web page of external site, then you can have http written like this. This is one example, one possibility. The other possibility is that on external website, you can give logo.jf and so on, and then link to another page in the same. You can see there is this possibility also, ahref index.html and then home. Now when will this example appear? This example will appear when the current page and this index.html is in the same folder. Okay, if you have directly mentioned the name of the file here, then this possibility will arise only when the current page and index.html is in the same folder. Okay, so this is another possibility. Then if you want to navigate, if it's a very big page, lot of content is there, you have a vertical scroll bar to see up and down in that page. And if you want to go from one part of the page to another part of the same page, if you want to go from one part of the page to another part of the page, then you use hash top like that. Okay, I will show you that example. What is the meaning of that? Anchor. Okay, what is the meaning of this hash top here is, if you want to navigate to in the same page to another part, if a page is very big, okay, a lot of data is there in that page, And if you want to click on a particular link and you want to go in the same page to another section of that page, then we use this hash here. We use this hash here. Okay, so let us take an example of that and see. For that I need to have a lot of data here. So what I will do is, this is my test.html. I will, yeah, smiley, let that smiley be there. And I will place the smiley once again, Control C. I will paste it once again, then once again, once again. Let us say I pasted so many smileys in my page. Okay, why I am doing this is because I'm pasting more smileys in the page because I want the page to become very, very big. That's why. So there is this paragraph here, from here to here, there is a paragraph, Control C. I paste this paragraph in the beginning of the page also here. So I pasted the paragraph here on the top, then there is a lot of images, then again there is a paragraph. Okay, file, save. Why I am doing this is because you can see now I've made the page very, very big. You can see that I can scroll it down. I'm scrolling it down, and on the top you can see on the top, there is this paragraph, and then after that there is the heading, and then comes your images, and then finally again there is a paragraph, and then there is a link over here. Why did I do this? Is because I want to create a very big page. That's why. Okay, now see what I'm trying to say is that if you want to navigate to a part, if you want to navigate to a part in the same page, then we can use that hash symbol. But before that, you have to mention where that anchor should come. Okay, so you have to put a name is equals to top, like this. So in my code, what I've written, I've defined an anchor here. I've defined a place, I've defined a section to which it has to come to. What I've written, a name is equals to top. Okay, some name you can give any name here. Okay, I've given it as top. Where I have placed it, I have placed it in the first paragraph. And down here in the link, what I've done is a href, where you want to go when this particular, I have to go to top. I want to go to top. Okay, and then the link, I will change the link label to click here to go to the top of the page. Okay, click here to go to the top of the page. Okay, so I put what, a href, I put a hash, remember I put a hash, and after that followed by the name of the label, name of the tag, which is here. This is the name, not top. So I put here hash top. So when I click on this, it will take me to that section here. File, save. I come here, I refresh this. So you can see that I have to actually use my scroll bar to go on the top and then come down here. If I want to go to top again, then I have to again use that. But if I click on this, you can see that it directly takes me up here. I'm not doing anything, it is directly coming up. Okay, so when I take my mouse pointer here, if I click on this, you can see that it directly brings me on the top here. It is directly bringing me on the top here. So what is happening is, a link in the page can cause you to navigate to a different section in the same page. It can help you to navigate to a different section in the same page. It will help you to go to a point in the same page when the page is very, very big. You must have seen it in many websites where the page is very big. You come down, 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 and then suddenly, you'll find a small label coming here. Click here to go to the top of the page. And then when you click on that, we go. Normally on shopping sites, when we are browsing a lot of shoes, clothes, and all that, when we have scrolled down too much, then there will be a small icon here which will come. Click here to go to the top. So when I click on that, it directly takes me to the top of the page. This is what happens in that case. Okay, what we do is we define an anchor here like this. Give a name to that particular anchor, and then here create the link, and then go to hash top when this particular link is clicked. So this is what happens. So when you click on this link here, I hope you can see this, it takes me to the top of the page. So this is another example of how we can use the ahref. So a link to another place on the same page, you can see link to another place on the same page. Then this is how we define the thing. And then if, let us say, this is another possibility, if you want to go to a different page and to a particular section, if you want to go to a different page, if that page is very, very big, in that page, if you want to go to a particular section, we do this. Okay, we write the name of the page to which you want to navigate to, and the section in that page, if it's a very big page, Okay, directly what it will do is, it will, when it loads a new page, it will show you the top of the page. But if you don't want to show the top of the page, you want to go to the middle part of the page, then you can mention the name of the page here like this. You can mention the name of the page like this, and then put a hash, and then the anchor where it is present in that page. So you can also mention this is link to a specific place on another page, link to another page, and to a particular section in that page. What is this example? This example here is, this particular part is in the same page to a different section, here to a different page, and in that different page to a particular section. Okay, and so on. So you can have these type of links. You can have some JavaScript code also. So when you click on that particular link, you want to execute some JavaScript, so you can write your href like this. You can write JavaScript colon, and then you can write some JavaScript code here which will get executed. When you click on the link, you want some JavaScript code to be executed, you can write it like this. If you want to have a link, when you click on that, when you have a link, when you click on that, you want to open a mail client like Outlook Express and all that. Like Outlook Express and all that, if you want to create, you want to directly send a mail to somebody, then we write ahref mail to person@somewhere.com. I mean, to you have to write the name of email ID of the person to whom you want to send the mail and all that. And if you want to make a telephone call, because see, mobile phones, then computers, they will have default email sending softwares installed in their laptops. They will have telephone calling softwares installed in their this. So if I click on that particular link, that software will open, and then it will start making call to this particular number. Okay, so we can create links in our web pages. When somebody clicks on that link, I can immediately send a mail to that person. I can immediately execute some JavaScript. I can immediately make a phone call to that person by just placing a link on my web page like this. Ahref mail to, if I write, then a mail will be sent. Ahref JavaScript, if I write, it will execute a JavaScript code. If I write ahref telephone and then read this, it will make a phone call to that particular person. Okay, but provided that laptop or the mobile phone should have phone calling facilities, email sending facilities. So don't worry much about these things right now. Okay, these are not very commonly used in any website. What is important for you people is to understand this ahref, how to navigate to a different page, how to navigate to a different section in the same page. All that is important. In the examination, they will ask you a question on this. They will ask you how to use the anchor tag. It is called as an anchor tag. A for anchor, it is called as an anchor tag. How to use the anchor tag to navigate to a different file first, to navigate to a different section in the same file, to navigate to a different section in another file. They will ask you that question, and you have to give proper examples and you have to explain. You have to give proper examples and you have to explain. Please remember, this part is important from an examination's point of view. Okay. Now, look at this. This is what I have already explained to you. Normally, whenever we develop any website, we always keep it in a particular folder. Path is very important. Path is very, very important. If let us say today you create a folder called as root, this is the root folder. In that you keep a file called as index.html, about.html, example.html. Let us say these three files are directly kept in this folder. And then in that folder, root folder, there is one more folder called as images, in which you have logo.gif, centralpark.jpg. In that folder, root folder, there is one more folder called as CSS, in which you keep main.css. In that CSS folder, there is one more folder called as images. Inside that, you have a file called as background.gif. And then in the main root folder, there is one more folder called as members. In that, you have all this. So basically, you have a directory structure here. You have a structure, directory structure. And whenever you create any website, your directory structure is very important. You should know where you are keeping which file. Let us say you keep index.html, about.html in the same folder. Then later on, you shift this about.html folder in images folder. So you have to change the path everywhere. Otherwise, when you try to navigate to that file, it will say file not found. Directory structure is very, very important. Okay, now look at this. Index, about, example are in the same folder. So if I want to navigate from index.html to example.html, in href, I will directly write only example.html. I don't write dot slash nothing, because they both are in the same folder. But if I have to navigate to, let us say index.html in members, there is a folder called as members. From this index, I have to go to this index. So what I do is I place a link in this index.html file ahref, then I write dot slash members slash index.html. Index.html. If I want to navigate to bio.html is a file which is present in Randy C. It is present in Randy C folder, which is in members folder. If I want to navigate from, if I want to place a link in this index.html file to go to bio.html file, then I have to write in this dot slash members slash Randy C slash bio.html. Then I will be able to navigate to that file. I hope you understood. I hope you understood this directory structure, this entire directory structure. This actually I explained to you before only while I was explaining you the relative path. But normally this is how we always try to keep our website in proper directory structure, place things where they are. We don't move them. If we move them, then the path will change. It will not find. Okay, so like that it is. So you have to be extremely careful. This is about the directory structure. Then there are examples here of the same directory, child directory, grandchild directory, parent ancestor directory, all that, how to go to that and all that. You know, there is a lot of examples here, different possibilities which are over here. Okay, these are the different possibilities which are here. Next comes the inline text elements. Okay, next topic in this chapter is inline text elements. Inline text elements is, we have these different types of tags available. A strong tag. Okay, inline text elements, we have the strong tag, time tag, a small tag, and so on are there. Okay, I can show you this. Let me, okay, I will remove all this. Okay, so this is my test.html. Okay, so I start my paragraph tag and then I write this is the first line. Okay, then I will put a br tag here and then I will copy that, I'll paste it. Okay, something like that. This is my first line, this is my second line, third line, fourth line, fifth, sixth, and then last one is seventh. Okay, so this is my web page. File, save, and then I have to close this p tag here. I close my p tag, I saved it, file, save. I go to the browser, I refresh this. You can see my simple web page here. This says this is my first line, this is my second line, and so on. Okay, why it is coming on the side? Because I have not placed a center tag here anywhere. It is okay, no problem. Okay, now see, I'm going to use this tags and let us see what will happen. If I take this strong tag, I'll take this strong tag, Control C, and I put it here before second. Okay, strong tag. So this is the, so there is a tag here called as strong, and I put this word second, SECOND, I put this word second between the strong tag, strong and slash strong. Now let us see what will happen. File, save. I go here, I refresh this. I don't know if you are able to see, but that second word has become a little bold. That second word, that word second, has become a little bold. I don't know whether you are able to see it there or no, but it has become a little bold. All the others are normal, but that word has become bold. Similarly, I will put it for this word also. Seventh word also, I put it between the strong tag. So when I go there, I refresh this, I can see that even the seventh word has become a little bold. Okay. Okay, it has become a little bold, the seventh tag. Okay, so all that, and then what will happen if I make this small? Let us see. If I take small, if if I take small and I write small here, instead of strong, I write small. So for second, I wrote strong. For seventh, I wrote small. Let us see what will happen. File, save. Come here, I refresh that. I don't know if you're able to see or no. Second is strong. It is coming bold, but seventh has become a little small compared to the other fonts. This is the seventh line. The seventh has come a little small. It has become a little small. So that is what happens when I use the small tag. That is what happens when I use the small tag. So like that, there are different types of tags. We will discuss it in the next class. Okay, so today this is where we will stop. If you have any doubts, please note it down and keep it ready so that in the next class we can solve the problem. Okay, so we will stop here today, all of you. Have a nice day, all of you. Bye bye.